Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this latest video update from Quebec to Weather. This is lead forecaster Nathan Kitchens here. A very cold April so far across much of the eastern half of the country, and we have numerous freeze warnings in place for a very chilly night for tonight, as we have a very cold area of high pressure coming in from Canada. We're going to see a widespread freeze here from Des Moines down through Nashville, where we have freeze warnings in place for tonight. We have a winter weather advisory here across parts of northeast Ohio through Pennsylvania. We're going to see a potential for several inches of snow in that area later on tonight and through today on Saturday. And freeze watches here across much of the Carolinas and into parts of Virginia. Those will eventually likely be upgraded to freeze warnings as we go throughout later on today. So a lot of chilly weather to talk about here. And again, we're talking about that snow potential across parts of Ohio, for Pennsylvania later on today and tonight. So we have this disturbance coming down from the Great Lakes. The NAM computer model here, snowfall forecast. Again, you never want to just look at one model. You want to look at multiple models, and you never want to assume the model is correct. But it's just showing you the NAM's forecast, showing a widespread 3 to 6 swath with localized higher amounts, certainly a possibility. So there could be some pretty significant snow setting up here going throughout later on tonight. And I'll show you the short range forecast from the NOAA Weather Prediction Center throughout the day today and into tonight. There's that disturbance throughout the Great Lakes. We're going to see that kind of pivoting to the south and east tonight and into today on Saturday. There's that swath of snow from southeast Michigan to northern Ohio through Pennsylvania. So as you wake up tomorrow morning across Cleveland and Pittsburgh, it's going to be white out there with snow out there and some slick roadways possible, and that snow is going to gradually wind down later on Saturday afternoon as this disturbance begins to move out towards the Atlantic Ocean. And we'll be seeing our next system starting to develop here across the plains. But look at this area of high pressure. We had a very strong area of high pressure coming down. Very cold air for this time of year. And also, I should mention, in areas where that snowpack takes place, where we get that nice snowpack, we could see temperatures, certainly record-breaking cold temperatures, a possibility as we go into Saturday night where we have that snowpack in place. And I'll try to show you this here on the NAM model. I didn't plan to show you this here, but I'm going to show you this because I think temperatures are going to get really cold under that snowpack Saturday night as we get that cold area of high pressure coming down. I mean, zoom out to the eastern part of the U.S. here and show you these temperatures, because I think these temperatures get very cold under those areas where that snowpack takes place. And it's going to be very obvious here as we go into tomorrow night. So here's the forecast for tomorrow. Again, a cold day expected across the eastern part of the country. You already know that. As we go into Saturday night, the NAM model is not showing you this here, but I think there could be some very chilly temperatures across these areas. You can see temperatures dropping into the teens. So very cold weather expected Sunday morning. It's not out of question we could get even colder than that in some localized areas. We'll have to see how that plays out. And then we'll begin to see warmer air starting to fight in across the eastern part of the country. Especially once we get towards Monday of next week. Still holding on to that chill on Sunday, but then eventually we'll begin to warm up, it looks like, as we head into Monday briefly, and then we'll see another cold blast, a cooler blast of air coming down towards the early to middle part of next week. So let's go back to the PowerPoint here and show you the precipitation here. Well, first I'll show you the Storm Prediction Center map for Sunday, because we do have a risk for some severe weather across southeast Kansas through northern and northeast Oklahoma. We'll be watching that closely on Sunday, and then heading into Monday, we'll have a 15% risk for severe weather across the Arctic region. And I'll show you the GFS model here going throughout the next few days. We'll see some precipitation moving through as some snow across Michigan early to midday on Sunday. And I'll zoom out to the entire U.S. so you can see the whole country here. Heading into the day on Sunday, there's some of that snow across parts of Michigan briefly, and then eventually it goes over the rain. And we'll have a trailing front here across the Ohio River Valley down to parts of the Panhandle of Texas. We'll have an area of low pressure developing here across the Texas Panhandle. And so we'll be watching again Sunday night across parts of Oklahoma and Kansas for maybe a couple severe storms. And heading into Monday, we'll see this area of low pressure moving along that frontal zone. And just ahead of that here, we're going to see some warmer and moist air. Could see a few severe storms Monday in this area here across the Arctic area. Then that low pressure will move along that frontal zone Monday night. So expect a lot of showers to move through here. And then heading into Tuesday, that system begins to gradually move off towards the east. And we'll see a much quieter pattern trying to emerge here across a good part of the country, especially in the middle section of the country, heading into the middle and latter part of next week, looking actually very quiet with a very gradual warming trend expected. Here's a look at the precipitation over the next 5 days. we could see anywhere from a general inch of rain here across much of the northeast. Some heavier totals here across parts of the south, potentially over 2 inches of rain in some spots. And then across the west, it's certainly good to see some precipitation out here because in California we need every drop we can get, that's for sure, showing a potential for maybe some decent totals in some areas over the next 5 days. So here's a look at the 500 millibar anomalies for today. Very cold weather across the east, a very deep trough. I mean, this is about as winter-like of a pattern you're going to get for this time of year. With very chilly weather. Again, we'll be watching that snow tonight across parts of southwest Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania. And also, as we go throughout the next week, we're going to see some changes taking shape. This is the map for 1 week from today. We're going to see a very nice ridging here across the nation's midsection. This is kind of a blocking type pattern. So we're going to get a setup here where we see several days of dry weather. Temperatures are going to warm up nicely across plains. It's going to turn very warm later next week. And the east will hold on to the chill throughout really all of next week. But once we get to the very end of the week, and especially next weekend, you're going to start to notice, even across the east, some warmer changes beginning to build in. And this is part of a much milder pattern across the middle and even eastern part of the country as we head into the middle and latter part of the month. Doesn't mean there won't be any more cold shots of air, but in general, we're going to turn much milder here. Taking a look at our 8 to 14 day outlook from April 15th to the 21st. Finally, above average temperatures across much of the north expected, even into the east. Looking at temperatures probably going to be slightly above average from that April 15th through the 21st time frame. And also below average precipitation. Like I mentioned, we're going to have a blocky pattern, so we're going to kind of get set up where we see a drier regime trying to set up. But I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. That is certainly some good news there, and very promising news. If you're sick and tired of this cold weather, at least it does look like we're going to see some warmer air starting to fight back in for the middle part of the month. Well, that'll wrap it up for this video update. Again, thanks for watching, and hope you have a great Friday, and of course, have yourself a great weekend.